when you're working with clients, there's stuff happens, and it's big stuff. We're working with memories, and memories which may have been around for 20, 30, 40 years, trapped memories. When those memories are released, client will normally have a physiological reaction. And sometimes it's going to be brilliant, amazing, like flushing, and they're going to feel like they're in heaven. There'll be white light coming out of their ears. Seriously, I did have one person having that. They had white light coming through their head and out their ears like this. So, they can have these like phenomenal experiences, so be ready for that. And also be ready for if they may get a little, what people call illness as well. So they might get flushing out of the body, which could be some kind of a squeaking door in the way.
Oh.
Hiya.
Hello.
Hello. So that can also be, flushing out the system. It can be diarrhea, for instance. Could be a cold comes straight away, or some kind of flu-like symptoms. Heat, fever sometimes can occur. That's simply the body flushing out.
Well, that's what I had in Cape Town, wasn't it?
Right, you did.
I had a whole day where I was vomiting in the night. Felt really ill. I knew it wasn't something I picked up while I was there.
Right.
I know when it's a healing crisis. I call them a healing crisis.
Sure.
It's like your body goes into crisis just for that time.
Yeah.
And it was like, it sort of started about 2 o'clock in the morning and it finished 2 o'clock the next day. And I was hot and cold and every part of my hair, more than I've ever had. And it got to the point where at one point I couldn't barely move. I was having to text Terry to tell him what was going on. I could barely move my fingers, let alone my body.
So stuff happens.
Yeah, just stopped, just because it started.
Yeah, a nice 12-hour cycle.
Yeah. I knew it was just clearing.
Life has got its own clock, hasn't it? It just knows when things are. Yeah. So stuff happens, and so if you can tell your client that in as normal way as possible, because you don't want to freak them out, like, you could get really ill from working with me. Really? Oh, I'm leaving. So tell them in a way that wouldn't freak them out, and Kelly, your now state will really help you.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah. So make an effort to put yourself in the now state, and that will really help where you are right now. Yeah. And for all the information that's coming as well, it will really help because it will go in on that level. Yeah. So just make it normal. Oh, these things normally happen. These things can happen. It's possible. If it does happen, it's fine. It means your body is in the right place. So just reassure them about that, because otherwise people get freaked out if they get fever symptoms. That's normally when you go to the doctor, isn't it? Like the diarrhea, the fever. That's when people normally go, like, quick, give me something to help me. But actually, they're in the healing cycle already. So maybe they just need something to help the healing cycle. Chamomile, stuff that's good for them, stuff that will help the healing, homeopathy, just stuff that will help the healing phase continue. Yeah, because you had some symptoms last night, didn't you?
Well, I thought it was fish and chips that I had on the coast.
Well, that's what we think. We always, we never go for the
We don't go for the,
what's the unconscious patterns which are coming out, which are being flushed out here. We don't normally think like that.
I was definitely flushing out last night.
The theme for the morning is... Yeah. So, and then was there any heat in your body? Do you have heat?
Yeah, I felt feverish, and I thought,
right.
I was feeling feverish. But I wasn't. I could feel I didn't have a temperature, but internally I could feel hot heat.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So there would be the symptoms of a healing cycle. That would be the symptoms of that. Or as dodgy fish and chips, what's, Well, I mean, the thing is, you can eat anything, however fresh or however not fresh, and your body can take it and use it as an excuse to flush out. Really, can't it? I remember in my house, I moved into my flat, this was about 12 years ago or so, and I'd been in that flat for about a few years, and he had the guy who was there before me had a freezer which he left for me in the outside shed, which is great, and it was kind of coked up with frozen stuff, and then one day I was kind of just clearing it out, and I found some squid. It's like, oh, I love squid, brilliant, gorgeous. So I cooked them up, I defrosted them, cooked them up and everything, and I was halfway through the plate of squid and I was just thinking, how long, I wonder how long they've been there for. I think, oh, I've been here for 4 years. Oh yeah, and that, so they're at least 4 years old. These squid were at least 4 years old. At that point my stomach just went, and then nothing happened. You know, nothing completely happened. But my body could have taken that excuse, couldn't it? Like, oh, you know, 4-year-old squid, right, that's an excuse for me to go, if it needed to. If it wanted to clear something out of the system, it could have done. So, you know, you can react to anything, can't you, really?
Just don't talk about food. Maybe these guys talk about McDonald's.
Okay, refreshing streams of healing water flowing through your body. Gorgeous, refreshing. The oxygen in the air coming into your system and beautifully,
Rosie's made me a
cup of lovely soothing tea, yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we're going to start this morning with I'll just do a meditation for you. Kind of thing that I would do for a client, just to show you the kind of experience that I like to give my clients, sometimes before I start a session, or even during a session. And the prologue for that as well would normally be a metaphor about their unconscious mind, how deep they can go safely, and the kind of experiences that they might look forward to as well. So a diving metaphor is a pretty good one. I've always found diving metaphors very good because you're always talking about going down and further and safety. So I might start off with that. First of all, you would check, you know, water phobias, are they okay with water? You might just be having a casual conversation where you find those things out. So, and if I know they're okay with water, everybody here okay with water? Diving kind of thing? So I start talking about diving. Yeah, absolutely. Because with diving, who here's got their PADI license or the British, whatever it is? Yeah, so a few in the room. So you know what that's like. Everything's different. You're wearing strange clothes to begin with, very tight-fitting clothes normally, tight-fitting mask. So you feel different to begin with. And then you're on the boat and usually you just fall off the boat backwards, so you're even starting something in a different way, and you hold your mask and then you go under the water. And then it's just a completely different world. You're held by the water. The water pressure just holds your body completely. So you feel so supported. You've already got your buoyancy jacket on, you've got your weights, so you find that you're suspended perfectly in the water. You don't have to move up, not moving down, you're perfectly suspended. And then you can adjust, you can make the adjustments. And some of the adjustments that you make is with your breath. So you find that if you breathe out, you start to go down. And then you breathe in a little bit, and you start to come up again. So you're realizing that you're controlling your depth here with your breath. So a deep breath in, and you start to come up again, and then you're going down. Now, you've always got a buddy with you as well, so you're really safe here. So no matter how deep you go, you're really safe. But there has to be something attractive, something alluring to make us want to go down deeper and further, isn't there? So normally, what is it? It's coral normally, isn't it? Or it's an old wreck, or maybe an old sunken bus or a coach or something like that. But there's something got to be there for you to want to go down. So I mean, I like the coral and the fish, all those gorgeous coloured fish. So I've already got incentive just to go down deeper. And with every breath, I'm going deeper and deeper. And my body's with me as well, so we're safe here. And we've got instruments to know where we are all the time. So you're in a safe place. So it's okay to go further and deeper. And with every breath, deeper and deeper down. And then all of a sudden, you get your presence. Not only have you got this wonderful feeling, and the breath as well is incredible that you can go down this deep and just be breathing normally. With the oxygen, so fresh and so lovely. And then you come to the coral and you've got your gift of the beautiful corals and anemones and all the different coloured fish and the parrotfishes and the greens and the reds and the blues. It's just a wonderful experience down here, deep down here. And that reminds me of a story that one of my master practitioners told me. And he said that they were diving, he was diving with his buddy, somewhere exotic, and I can't remember exactly where, but somewhere exotic. And he was diving with his buddy, and they were just kind of there, doing whatever they were doing, and they suddenly came across a huge shoal of barracuda, and these barracuda were really big. They were like 3 meters long, so bigger than they were themselves, and everything seemed perfectly normal in that situation. The barracuda were just chilling out anyway, they weren't doing much. And Tim and his buddy found that their bodies had started to align to the whole shoal of the barracuda. And they hadn't really said anything to each other. They hadn't said, look, let's go over there and do this. It just seemed to be the thing to do. So they became part of this shoal of barracuda. And the barracuda started to dive. And they started to dive as well. And they went deeper again, and deeper, and deeper. And it got to a point there where Tim looked at his instruments, and he recognized he was at a depth that he hadn't been before. And he wondered, what's it like? What's this going to be like here? Because I'm going to go a little bit deeper even now. I know it's safe because my instruments are telling me everything's good here. So they went deeper still for the excitement of it, for the journey. So they're the kind of things that I might tell my client, or the kind of metaphors I might give my client if I'm doing kind of box standard hypnosis, if I want to get them to the different brainwave levels. And you can see the effect it has. It's quite nice, isn't it? And all the things are in there. You want them to go deeper, you want it to feel safe. There's going to be something there for them. Got to be a reason to go down there. So all those things you can just plant into the metaphor for them. And then of course, the whole purpose of that is for when you got them to the appropriate level, you're going to start to slot in the suggestions for them. So I'm going to do a meditation with you now and for you now. And so what I'd like is just some suggestions from you guys, because I can fit lots of suggestions in. So maybe just give me some suggestions of something that you might like. If you're a client now and you're working with me, what kind of suggestions might you like to have put into your unconscious mind so it can act on it at some point now, today, and also coming into the future? It could be something to do with you and your business, it could be money, relationships, connections. Yep.
I've got one, absolutely brilliant at starting things, all the energy in the world.
Right.
But finishing things off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Finishing things. All right, so 2 of you at least on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was this morning actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really good at that.
I like that. I like the way you said that's really good. That's classy communication. I'm good at that. Yeah. All right. What else? What other kind of yeah?
Being my authentic self in all situations. Not holding back.
You want to be Jesus or Muhammad or in all situations. Okay. All right. So. Now, authentic, I want to take some pressure off that one, because that's really, really huge. Yeah? People have been killed for that, you know that, don't you? Joan of Arc, comes to mind, and, So would it be all right with you, your unconscious mind, if you're okay with how you are in those situations? Because sometimes, if I'm my authentic self, it's not appropriate, and it would be not appropriate in certain situations. So therefore, I've got to be appropriate to what's happening there. No? Uh-oh. Watch this space. All right. You're looking for a new career and everything, right? Okay. All right. It's a journey then. So let's put that in mind. That's a journey for you. Okay. Great. Fantastic. Love it. I've got to get you on Facebook. You want to follow this journey. All right. What else? These are good. What else do you want?
Repeating past mistakes.
Not repeating past mistakes. Not repeating past mistakes. But don't think of a green tree in a blue field. So what do you want to do then? Like learning from all your mistakes? Because you're going to make some more.
Yeah,
You're alive.
being more aware of the learning from it so that you don't repeat it, yeah.
All right. All right. What else do you want?
Being clear on my focus and direction to support my whole purpose, and to bring out the abundance and everything I feel within me to attract the money and the abundance as well. Something like that.
Along those lines. Along those lines.
Yeah, I reckon everyone can do with that.
Yeah.
Clear on focus and direction. For you, it would be, yeah, the clarity. For you, it's going to be the commitment of your focused direction.
Yeah.
Commitment to that.
Yeah, no, because once
Yeah, okay. That will take care of the second one. In terms of you being attractive and law of attraction and bringing things to you, the commitment to your focused direction will actually attract everything to you. You're going to get that. But I'll stick that in as well.
Could there be something in there just before that,
Mm-hmm.
so that if you're a bit unsure of what your direction is, that you gain that clarity and then that commitment carries you through?
Yeah, well, it's always the intention. The intention will always find you the resources when you don't know what on earth to do. Just pure intention. It's the Taurian. Anybody here a Taurian in star signs? It's that bit there. It's that Taurian. They can just get like you see. Sometimes you see a brick wall, and then you see a little plant growing through it, and you think, "How did you do that?" It's a little weedy plant that you could just go, and it would squash, and it's come through concrete and come through brick. It's that kind of Taurian. It finds a way if the commitment is there, or the intention is there, and the focus is there. Yeah. So there is something behind. So it is that abstract intention commitment that should provide you with a focused direction. Yeah, all right. I'll put the word intention there as well. Okay. Anything else? Of course you can borrow. When you've heard someone's that's really good, you can borrow that as well. It's like, yeah, I'll have that, great. Anything else that hasn't been mentioned that you might want?
not winding up authority. I'm sorry, what was that? Not winding up authority.
Not winding up authority. I think you're born to do that, actually, Pebbles. I think you're born to wind up authority. I think it's part of your dharma. Like Catherine there, you know, you're going to...
A little bit of rebellion. I've got plenty of that.
That's a lot of rebellion, yeah. Well, how about, Pebbles, how about channel that into how that makes your life work? Channel that energy, that rebellious energy, into a dharma that works for you.
Yeah, that would work.
Creativity. So it's like creativity through rebellion.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Well, if there's anything else you've missed, I'll intuit it as well and stick it in there for you. Well, we'll get some channeling going on. All right, good. So, suggestion, you might want to just put anything you've got in your hands down. That cup over here would be good. Do you need some water next to you? You all right? Okay. All right, good. Now everyone's phone is on silent, including me. Yeah. All good? Fantastic. Good. So you may recognize this journey, because I'm going to ask you to breathe into your body just a little bit deeper than you normally would. Experience that breath, the quality of the breath as it's coming down your throat into the lungs. And there's some warmer air. If you really get in touch with that breath, you'll notice that there's some warmer air that's already there on the inside of the lungs. And just feel that. There's cooler air coming in from the outside and it meets the warmer air on the inside. And make that breath slightly longer and really feel the breath. And as you exhale, just make that exhale the same length as the inhale. So those breaths are equivalent. signifying yin and yang, signifying day and night, signifying man and woman, signifying yes and no, on and off, signifying balance. The in-breath and the out-breath. And the in-breath, you could see that as ideas, if you like, or thinking. And the out-breath is the action, when you actually do it. But I wouldn't suggest. You can take on that suggestion already and notice that you already have the whole of the structure and the process of the universe inside you. I wouldn't suggest that at this early stage. I mean, you're not even hypnotized, are you, right now? I mean, you're not even really deeply relaxed. We've only been talking for 30 seconds or so. You couldn't possibly take on suggestions, even at this point, could you? Noticing that the whole universe is in one breath even. The thinking on the in-breath and the action on the out-breath. The thought about your words and then creation as you breathe out the words into action. With every breath you can go deeper inside. More relaxed even than you knew you could before you thought about it. Now going deeper inside. With every breath, loving this space. And you may have some thoughts in your mind. Yeah, they might be left over from yesterday or today, and it's okay to have those thoughts. But then just like clouds on a windy day, allow the thoughts to drift away across the sky. Like autumn leaves, let them blow away until they're far away. Or like a babbling brook that's running down the side of a mountain. Allow the thoughts to tumble over each other, explode over into a waterfall, disperse into tiny droplets and then just disappear. So you can be here now, just breathing into your body. Nothing to do, there's nowhere to go, just to be here, right here, now. The breath slightly longer and then balancing the breath. And as you well know, as you're doing this now, you well know that you're starting to relax the whole of the body. Perhaps you can recognize that your face is relaxing. Perhaps you can start to recognize that every single muscle in the forehead, around the cheekbones, in your jaw area, where the jaw meets the skull, relaxing, even in between all those areas. Perhaps even noticing that your mind, your brain area can relax. That wonderful work that it does for you, acknowledging your mind and just letting it completely relax. And with beautiful energy, golden white light, like a shower of white golden healing light flowing through your mind, allowing your mind to completely be acknowledged, healed, relaxingly energized as it runs through the canals of your brain. With each breath, this relaxation can flow down your neck, two sides of your neck, and then down the spine, beautifully rolling energy, rolling and relaxing all the way down the spine like piano keys, a relaxation. Just noticing can go all the way in between the vertebrae as well. This relaxation, the joints of your body just being beautifully oiled with relaxing energy. Invigorated and rejuvenated bones of the spine, the very center of who you are. And from this area, the spine can just expand this relaxation throughout the whole of your back, down through your shoulders, the deltoid areas, and all the bits in between, the tendons, the lymph nodes and glands, the relaxation flowing through, taking away everything that's not needed and replenishing you with gorgeous, relaxing, invigorating, renewing energy flowing down through your arms, biceps and triceps, elbows and lower arms and your hands, even out to your fingers too, and all the joints being oiled beautifully with relaxing energy, relaxingly energized, flowing down through your upper chest and your lower chest, flowing down through the stomach area, even digesting new ideas for you. New thought patterns, realignment of who you are to who you really want to be now. The you that's the author, the person that decided to come down here, the very center of who you are being expressed from your being every single second of the day. The knowledge of who you are being echoed through the whole of your body, the author of who you are coming through every single second of the day. And you know who you are as you're speaking and being. With every breath, with relaxation flowing down through the hips area, the very pelvis and the bones in your pelvis area. Relaxation flowing down through your quadriceps, the four muscles on the top of your legs, the gluteus maximus and the hamstrings down the back of your legs. Relaxation flowing through your knees, rejuvenating, lubricating the knees area, relaxing energy flowing down through your calves, down through your lower legs, the ankles, the soles of your feet, and then through the rest of your feet. And as you're breathing into the whole body, finishing the relaxation of your whole body seems so easy. Once you've committed to the journey, completion of the journey is part of the deal. It comes with the package. So as the farmer who's planted the seeds for the orange tree and watered those seeds and tended to those seeds, the oranges happen by themselves. So you don't even have to think about finishing, because the oranges come from tending to the seeds. So the more you tend to the seeds, take care of these little projects you have, or even big projects you have, the oranges come by themselves. They're just a byproduct of all your good work, tending the land, feeding the soil, taking care of your ideas in your mind, taking care of the little babies you create when you speak and create through languaging, and taking care of these little plants as they start to grow and your ideas and projects. Then the fruits and the seeds, the fruit of the seeds will come through automatically by themselves. And as you breathe more into your body, you can go deeper inside, deeper and deeper inside. As you walk down one of those beautiful staircases, and you know your perfect staircase, it's safe. With every step you take, it allows you to know your direction. With every step you take, you may not be able to see the next step, but with the faith and the trust, you know your direction. You know that there will be another step there. Your trust and faith in this next step before you even know where it is. And you can take the next step. And as you take the next step, the stair appears for you. You're starting to realize that your staircase is created by your next step. You start to recognize that every action you take towards where you intuitively know you should go creates the next step. So your focus and direction is made by completing everything that you've done before. And your step that you take is your completion. You feel the experience of that step. And as you feel the experience of that step, it completes the thing that you were just doing. And as you step forward, the next step is created for you. So all you have to do is make sure you've completed the step that you're on now by mindfully feeling every nuance of the wood, every nuance of your foot, to know that you've done that step. Then the next step is apparent, and you take that next step. So you're clear on your focus and intention. And as you walk down those steps, and you know there's an ending to this, because you know there's a next experience to have. So eventually, you take the last step. And then you feel your feet hit something different, and it's good. You're grounded with these ideas. You're grounded with these focused intentions. And as you do that, you look up and you see a big door in front of you, and there's some light that's very attractive. There's some splinters of light coming through a big wooden door over to your right. And you're very attracted about the future. It looks really attractive. And you go towards that future, and you take the hand and put the hand to the handle. With intention, you say, I want to open this door. This door is my life. This door is my future. I am choosing to open the door to my future, and you open that door. And the sun welcomes you. The sun's been waiting for you. The sun's been a wealth of resources waiting to shine on you, to light up your spinal cord of reception and create the relationship that takes you into your future, and you walk right into that light. And that light is you, and you are that light. And the whole of your cellular body meets with that light and creates a relationship, a dynamic, to take you easily into your futures. And as you walk through the grass, beautifully grounded on the lush grass, so you can feel the connection between the earth and this ethereal energy world, and they're one. The body and the spirit is one in this world, and the cellular being that you are, spiritual being, connects with the sunlight, but also connects with your feet and the lush grass, and every step you take takes you deeper inside this experience, more connected to your purpose, without even having to know where to go. Your purpose is so clear and focused because you are connected. And every time you open your eyes in the morning and you awake, your eyes are connected to your purpose, and your whole being, from your spine to the light that's around you, is connected to your purpose. And all you have to do is open your eyes in the morning to have this happen. And in the evening and the nights, as you start to go to sleep in the evenings, you'll just remember everything that happened. The experience from the day will show you everything that you needed to learn from. And you can just be happy at the end of the day that your being wants to learn. With every single step you're taking, you're more relaxed, more invigorated with relaxing, and your learning with every step is experience. Every being that you meet, or entity, animal, vegetable, mineral, even eating, is an experience to learn from. And you're allowed to make some little mistakes here. It's okay. You're allowed to not always get it right, because your body and mind want to experience and learn from the dynamic of pushing against something that you don't understand so much. Always. Understanding is experience. So sometimes you'll call forward in this beautiful ceramic view something that you don't understand. And it's okay not to know, because the experience of going through will allow you to make some mistakes but still learn. And in the night's job for you is to allow your unconscious mind to be free to learn all the things that you needed to learn that logic couldn't tell you in the day. So every time when you close your eyes at night, you know you're learning from everything that's around you, and you're moving on. Step by step, you're moving on. You're learning and leaving the past behind, like exhaust fumes from a car. As it moves forward, it leaves behind the past. With every step, you're leaving behind the past. Choosing to go towards the light, and the light which is you, the author of your life, the you that's chosen to be alive and go towards what you really want, leaving the past behind. And the night time will take care of that for you, trusting that the night takes care of the day. So you can really enjoy that day fully. You can really enjoy that day fully in the recognition that the night will take care of everything that didn't take care of in the day. So you can be totally, fully expressed. The real you coming through all the time. And it's not up to me to tell you to do this journey in this way or that way. You might want to do this journey in any way that you think is right for you. You might not want to walk on your feet. You might want to walk on your hands. You might want to climb a tree. You might want to pull a tree down in your journey. So I can't tell you how to do this journey. You might want to do it in exactly the way that you want to do it yourself. You might want to dam the river and not let things go down there and take the river in another direction. You might want to fly instead of walking. This journey is completely your journey. So when you've made all those arrangements, you can start to come back to now. And then only open your eyes when you've made those arrangements for yourself. Wow, that was a good one, hey? Well, you got some beautiful unconscious minds here, because I promise you, I really enjoyed that. I've got to tell you, I really enjoyed it. And you could tell I really enjoyed that. One of the reasons why I really enjoyed it is because my voice is only as good as your listening. So my voice comes from your listening. So that's how much I know how gorgeous your unconscious minds are right now, because my voice was really good. And that comes from you, promise you. It doesn't work well when the listening's not good. It doesn't work as well. So thank you for that. Thank you for that experience. I did mention everybody here. Anybody feel left out, or everyone feel connected and satisfied with what you wanted? Yeah? All good? I didn't do the knots for you, but I mentioned mistakes. Well, I mentioned mistakes. That's as far I was going to go with knots. Fantastic. All right, good. So what I wanted to show you next was, and pretty much in terms of the structure that we have for hypnosis and the ABC of it, that's really easy. I think it's really easy for anybody. We could get kind of monkeys to come in and do that kind of stuff. The bit that makes you really good is, and it kind of follows on from our NLP training as well, it's the connection you have with your clients. Because that rapport you have with your clients cuts down the time that you have to work with them, because you kind of know everything as soon as they walk in the door. You're in rapport with them, they just tell you unconsciously, this is where it is, this is the problem, there's the memory over there. Great. Now all you're doing after that point is keying in and showing them how to get to these particular points. Now in light of that, I thought we'd do an exercise of rapport and experiment. We'll do an experiment with this. And it's an experiment which I love, it's fun. It's a fun experiment. And it's an experiment about how you can actually mind read. You can actually get in touch with your partner and read their mind. All right? So the way we'll do this, now take the pressure off, it's fun. It's supposed to be fun, and it's an experiment, okay? You might not get it all right, but you also might get it very right as well. So yeah, you're going to get into twos, get with a partner that you know it's going to work with. And then what you're going to do is one of you is going to be the projector and the other one is going to be the listener. Now, as the listener, it's your job to be completely in rapport. Now, what we're going to suggest you do, you know rapport is not about the body language, don't you? It's a bit about the body language, but it's more about the energy between you two. But just to make it box standard rapport technique, you will, as much as possible, get your body really aligned to the other person with the hands, as much as you can, the breathing, the blinking, as much as you physically possibly can, really match and mirror the other person. The breathing, the blinking, everything you can be consciously aware of and mindful of, do that. Now, at the very least, it proves that you're over there with them completely. If you're matching somebody's blinking, you really are over there. You cannot be in your own head and match somebody's blinking. It's impossible. The breathing and everything. So as much as you physically possibly can, with your mindfulness, mirror the other person. Then that person's going to be the projector, and they're projecting over to you either a circle, a square, or a triangle. Okay? Now you might even want to be funky with it and put a colour to it as well. Don't have to, but you want to be funky. If it makes it more vivid for you, for instance, put a colour with it as well. But we're only looking for the big picture of circle, square, triangle, or pyramid, if you like that. If that excites you more. One of those. All right. Now then, so let's say just play with that. And let's say if you get kind of like 3 right in a row, it's probably time to change around again. I'd stick with that one, or play with it. You can definitely interact with each other. If things aren't going the way you think they should, coach each other to how they might project, or coach each other to, if you're a very feeling person, say, can you put some feeling into that picture, and feel it and send it across to me. Just so coach each other to see how it can possibly happen. Okay? There's no pressure, it doesn't have to work, it's just an experiment to see what you can pick up on. Now, if you find that you're really good at that, you get really good at that and you're kind of like done in 2 minutes or something and both of you get it really right, which has happened, then what I'd like to do is for you to project a memory across to the other person, or a piece of a memory, maybe a snapshot of a memory, something that means something to you. Something has some emotion, so you can really project it and consistently project it. Some piece of a memory or a snapshot of a memory, and see if the person can pick up on pieces of that memory or the whole thing. Okay, again, it's an experiment. You might not get it right, it's no big deal. At least you can have some fun and rapport anyway. Okay? Fantastic. All right, so pick a partner you know this is going to work with, and then go ahead, you can use that area over there, you can move chairs around here, in this area here. Go ahead and do that.
Let's move my chair. I've got a squeaky chair.
I heard, yeah.
Well, I saw you walking in the countryside with a dog. I saw red sassafras, I saw you walking and boots.
Yeah, and there was a dog running around. There was me with a horse.
Yeah.
With the boots on.
So the countryside was very...
So you got the countryside, you got the dog, you got the boots, you got her walking.
You got the lead.
And
yeah.
the lead.
I missed the horse.
It's quite a small horse.
Oh, sorry.
It's quite a small horse. It's
a small horse. The size of a red setter.
like a giant red setter.
But what that means is you're obviously a very good projector on that. So now, whatever you think about not receiving, what you give is obviously very clear.
Just
Blue. But you've got there. Oh, 3 out of 3 in one. Excellent.
Very good. There's some fantastic experiences going on there. Feel the energy of the room right now. Huh? Tangible. So what was that like for you? I saw some fantastic things going on. Who wants to share their experience of that? Who was blown away by it? Yeah, Amanda.
Didn't expect to learn anything by being the person projecting, but I did. Because it wasn't happening, I found I was using the front part of my head, or it felt like I was. And then when I switched it to the back part of my brain, got it straight away.
How did you know to switch to projecting from the back part of your brain?
The front part felt a bit too superficial of an image, but the back part felt a bit deeper.
All right.
Like it had more context.
All right. So you switched and then Jill started getting them all?
Got it straight away, yeah, 2 or 3 times.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Who got when we're doing the circle, square, triangle, who got 3 in a row? Straight off. Rosie? 2 in a row. Who got 2 in a row?
Yeah.
And 3 in a row? So a third of the group got 3 in a row, the circle, triangle, and then a bigger percentage got 2 in a row. It's quite magnificent, isn't it? All right, what else? What else would you like to share about that? Because I know some of you are kind of blown away, completely blown away by that.
What came through on the memories was quite shocking, really. The clarity and the position that we were either sitting or lying, and the feelings, the emotions, they all came through. Might not have been able to work out exactly what the situation was, but a lot of it.
Sure. So what did you get? What kind of specificity did you get to?
Well, I managed to read a couple of feelings and the fact that you were lying down, and about 3 feelings, and how many people were there roughly. Whereas
That's pretty specific.
yeah,
So I mean, lying down is very specific to begin with.
that came first.
Yeah, because I mean, normally whenever you think of it, if you were making up a memory, you'd have people standing up normally, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That would be the first thought. Assume they would be standing up.
Yeah.
So lying down is very specific to begin with.
Yeah.
And then you've got the feelings inside that and the number of people that were there.
Roughly, I thought she was either on her own or a very small amount of people, and it turned out there was only one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you got
Yeah, I had a real big sense of a curve coming round, and she was sitting down, I couldn't work out what, and she was on a horse going trotted round.
Another one? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But I find it's interesting because when I work with clients, I pick up so much, and I know almost what they're going to say before they've said it, and I know
Sure.
I know what the memory is that they're going to go to next.
Mm-hmm.
But when asked to do it on demand, it's like I go,
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Sure. It sounds like you did pretty well.
Yeah.
when we relaxed.
Yeah. All right.
When we relaxed.
Okay. So in terms of specificity of memories,
Peter did really well.
would you like to explain what he got?
Well, I don't know how he got it because I'm so dehydrated. I don't really know how I was projecting it, but I think he really had a deep rapport, and I could see him sort of, in a sense, focusing toward the back of my mind. And he was really clear. Actually, he projected that I was with my children and celebrating their birthday party last week.
Well, he picked up
Very clearly.
because you were projecting.
I was projecting
was
the
picking
birthday
up.
party scene.
So
with
he
my
picked.
children.
What did he pick up first?
He picked up
Sunshine?
sunshine, and I said no, and he said, "Is that a feeling you have?" And I said yes, and then he picked up people,
Mm-hmm.
and then family, and then birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was amazing.
So it was whose birthday?
My children.
Right, it's his children's birthday, so he picks up people, family, birthday. Bam. That's very specific. That's very specific. Yeah, with no prompting whatsoever. There's no prompting, there's no, there might be some people, there's no prompting at all. He just picks up all that from sitting together.
Yeah.
Peter, would you like to give you? Can you explain how shocked you are about that?
No, I'm not shocked. I'd like to explain how that happened. But,
Yeah, my logical brain is in suspense. I'm not quite sure. I mean,
from my point of view, all I really tried to do was really focus on you and really kind of get the mirroring and rapport
yeah,
going. And I kind of felt that we had that. And after that, it was almost like not quite reading a chalkboard with the pictures on, but just getting that, just getting the feelings from you, and kind of working out what that was.
so you translated, but if I hear what you say literally, you translated some feelings you were getting into a pictorial
Yes.
Expression of that.
Yes.
And that's how it worked for you.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Great work. You've got another career coming up here, I think, Peter, haven't you? Psychic Peter.
I knew what it was.
So what does that show us? What does that show us? Obviously, I mean, that's a huge proportion of the room picking up so much specificity there, isn't it? Too much to be a coincidence, especially with the memories and how specific those memories are you're picking up. So we're saying here, yes, we can do inductions, we can do all those funky techniques, yet this ability that you've got with your third eye to see things is probably going to be, well, I say it's my biggest asset that I have when I'm working with clients, and it makes it the most fun as well. Cuts down all that laborious time of asking question after question, because you generally know where you want to go, and they're actually communicating in full multicolour, Dolby sound. Here's my problem, this is the problem, here it is, come and fetch it. And then just tune in and go get it. Alrighty, I think you deserved a break. Let's do that. Alright, so I think what we'll do next is, or probably one of the last things we're going to do is, for this next bit, we're going to need the room kind of cleared of stuff. So we can just put all the stuff on the edges of the room. We'll show you some really good stuff. So everything needs to go. Manuals, chairs, all the stuff. Oh, well done. You're going to use one of those, you reckon?
Yeah, I will.
Is that for your own thing, or for, yeah?
Can I talk about the sleep disasters?
Not right now, but
Not now, but
yeah, yes. Manda, can I stick that between your
Sorry?
gap?
We're sitting at the side.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So you're going to team up. You're going to team up with somebody, and one person, let's say person A, is going to have an object. So it could be an object like this, or a pen, or anything really. So that person's going to go and hide the object in any of these two rooms somewhere. Okay? Then, of course, the person who's their partner is not looking, got their eyes closed, or they're looking out the window with their eyes closed or whatever, hands over their eyes, so they're definitely blinkered and can't see or can't hear where that person's gone. Then what's going to happen is, that person A who planted the object, let's say it's here, like that, they're going to have their eyes open, and let's say, Manda, if you get up and put your hand on my left hand, and then your eyes are closed, completely like that. Now what you're going to do is, I, as a practitioner, I'm going to focus on that object completely with my mind. That's all I'm going to think about. And what Amanda's going to do is, she's going to test out my muscle movements in my arm to see where there's no resistance at all. And then she's going to go towards where there's no resistance. So if you just, I'm just going to turn you around close your eyes,
Okay.
and turn you around a couple of times, like this. Oh no, let's just do, oh, shall we do this? Oh no, let's do that. Okay, so put your hand on mine like that.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to focus completely on where that is. I'm not going to guide her, I'm never going to guide her. She's going to find out where there's no resistance, okay?
direction, really.
But that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Ticking up in the right. So she's going in the right direction. Okay. So, and I'm not actually pushing my arm towards it. I'm simply focusing on that object. Because I'm focusing on that, I've got no resistance to that area at all, and she'll feel whether there is resistance or not. That's it. Okay? Clippity clop. This is the horse's day today, right? If it's on a merry-go-round in the middle of the road, I'm leaving the room. All right, great. So grab your partner. Maybe somebody you haven't worked with for a little bit. Maybe somebody you haven't worked with for a little bit. All right, you're off.
It takes a lot of trust, doesn't it? Have a little look out the window, darling.
No clues. They've got to work it out. Is that fucking... Well, that was good. You went straight there. Huh?
Yeah.
Really good. All right. So what was the metaphor? What was the metaphor?
What was the metaphor?
Yes. What is a metaphor? Yeah.
Not more than a metaphor.
So what was the idea of that? Why would we show you that in an advanced master practitioner clinical hypnosis training?
The sense, the micro movements, if you like, you become very, very, very in tune with their movements and their resistance.
Absolutely, yeah. So the metaphor is?
Trust your instincts. Not really a metaphor.
It's probably more scientific than your instincts, than that one.
Your client will always know.
Client will always show you which way to go if you're completely tuned in with them. They'll always be the path of least resistance, and when you tune in you'll find it and you'll just be going in that direction. They'll be showing you and showing you and showing you. Yeah, all right. What's that? Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, their unconscious mind knows where the resolutions are. They know where the resources are. They know everything about the problem completely. They just don't know they know.
Reminded me of the exercise that we did on Master Pack,
Mm-hmm.
where he said, all you can do is hold the intention that they'll solve their own problem.
Right.
The only thing you can say is tell me more.
Right.
And it was mind blowing. It's like they said the whole intention is to solve the problem. Tell me more.
Yes.
And they solve their own problem.
Yeah, so there's a technique that Duncan's talking about that we use on Master Practitioner course on one of the other modules. And all you do is you sit with your client, you're in rapport, so there's obviously a very good connection to begin with. They tell you the outcome that they want. So they've got a challenge of something they're dealing with. They tell you the outcome that they want. Then you as a practitioner hold an idea of the outcome in your mind. And all you say as a practitioner is tell me more. And they just start talking about the challenge. You say tell me more whilst holding the outcome. And they basically just talk themselves completely into the outcome. They do it themselves. Law of least effort, I mean that's what we're about, isn't it? Least possible to get the biggest possible result. That's our game, isn't it? That's the NLP game that we play. How can we get the most out of by doing the least effort? Smart work. So the other thing which I find, which totally makes my trainings work and my practice work, is the setup that you do for your client, and then also how you get them to focus on, what you get them to focus on after they finish the work with you. It makes a huge, monumental difference to my practice. So if I've left any of those out, my results don't go very well. Okay? So it doesn't matter 20 years experience or whatever, or how many other clients I've worked, but I've got to, it's like being a good driver. You're only a good driver by doing the things which are really good every single second. You're not just a good driver and then you're a good driver, just go off and do whatever you want. So I've noticed that if I don't do these particular setup things before I start the session, and then also the backup work to make sure that the client's going to do the necessary work to keep the work going, then my results are going to go down, not so spectacular, etc., etc. So these are the things. Now you have heard me say these things before, so I'm going to reiterate them, and that's give them some kind of ordeal before they come to see you. Now if it's not an ordeal, it's just that you're convinced that they're 100% committed to doing the work with you. It's so important. It's really important. Now, here's a really good example of mine. A mistake I made on this course. What was I made a mistake on this course that I saw really clearly, and I felt the results of it. What mistake did I make when I was dealing with, one of you came up to the front and I was dealing with one of the issues with you. I made a mistake. So who knows what that mistake is and what happened because of that?
The timing with Amanda's
Right,
smoking.
right.
And she said she was going to stop.
Right. What hadn't I checked out? I hadn't checked out that she was committed to stopping now. Didn't check it out at the beginning. Mistake. Then the session was kind of a little bit more harder than it would normally be. I was kind of coming on, come on. What's wrong? I'm good. I'm a really good practitioner. Come on. So it doesn't matter. 20 years experience, all these clients, if I didn't do the setup properly at the beginning, therefore she wasn't committed to giving up at that moment, right now. Therefore it didn't work like I thought it was going to work. Now she will go up smoking, we all know that. She's got a structure for it, a strategy, she just hadn't decided now was the time. And that's up to her as a client to do that. So check out, clients got to be invested, they've got to be invested in, if it's smoking or weight loss, it's got to be now. I would never normally work with a smoking client if they're going to say it sometime in the future. I mean, it's perfect. I still would have wanted to work with you anyway, because it's great for them to see how you would work with a smoker, like that. But if it's going to be a smoker who's come to see you and they're paying you money, they've got to want to give up now, or stop losing weight now. Yeah, stop losing weight. Stop losing. Yeah, come on, you guys are like the nose here. Just stop. Stop it. You rebellious ones out there. Don't do it. Don't lose weight. Yeah, not stopping, losing weight. And the way that they're going to prove it to you is, how will they prove it to you that they're committed and they're going to do it now? What kind of ordeal would you give to them? How would you know?
Just write a diary of events leading up to the appointment.
It's a good one. It's always a good one. It shows commitment. You ask them, if it's smoking or weight loss, every single cigarette you smoke 2 weeks before you come to see me, or a week before you come to see me, you're going to send me an email every day with every single cigarette you've had that day, what time it was and why you smoked it. So 1 email every single day, at least a week before you come, preferably 2 weeks. If they miss an email out, you've really got to decide whether you're going to see them or not. You've got to have a real strong conversation about that. If they've left 1 email out even, what does that mean? Are they just going to do 90% of the work with you? You know, that kind of thing. How serious are they? How difficult is it? If they're really serious, how difficult is it to send 1 email a day if they're really committed and that's on their mind? So it's that kind of thing. Now, I don't always insist that, but I do insist 100% commitment. Somehow I've got to get it. What else could you do that shows you they're very committed, totally committed?
Half the money up front.
At least half the money up front before they come and see you. That's a commitment. Now, I know you want practice. I know you want to get out there and work with people, but it's not worth it. If it's a freebie and they haven't done anything, there's no ordeal, it's so much work and trouble, and you might not get a satisfied customer anyway. So you don't feel good after doing that. So make sure you're going to qualify your clients, they're going to do the work. If it's a friend, make doubly sure they're going to do the work. You might tell them that the friendship might even change a little bit from working with them and coaching them. So be prepared for that.
I was talking with someone recently who did hypnotherapy and psychotherapy with someone else, and she was sharing it in a networking group, and she said, she said, I qualified and I felt confident, but I just wanted some experience of working with real clients.
Yeah.
And so she put something out on Facebook saying half price sessions, and she, I don't know, maybe she did 10, something like that. She said every single person came, had really good results in that session, never came back again. And not because I didn't have more stuff to sort, but that, well, I've had my cheap session,
Yeah.
I'm off.
Yeah,
sort
sure.
of thing,
Yeah.
You know, and she said for her it was a huge big learning curve. And just,
I do.
didn't see the value in it.
Right.
Didn't come back.
Yeah, a lot of the work that I do is for free. The end user gets it for free.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sorry, Amanda.
sorry.
I'm forgetting the microphones.
A lot of the work that I do is for free because I deal with people on benefits. So generally they haven't got the ready cash. And the few times that I have had an impact have been fantastic in the session, like you say. They haven't even come back when it's for free because they haven't got value of putting the commitment in there. It was virtually, they were coerced into coming and having the session when they knew nothing about NLP before they met me. They didn't seek it out and want it for themselves. So even though we had massive feedback of how good it was, they still didn't return for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So you just have, I think you have to charge from the beginning.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry,
Yeah, please.
I had a client come to see me for weight loss, and he absolutely, I'm totally committed, and got him to do diary of his what he was eating each and every day, and how many packets of biscuits he was going through, etc., etc. And he came and we sat down, and he had like an initial interview, and I turned around and said, "You're not ready. Off you go," and let him go. And I just had this feeling that he wasn't completely there, not quite.
Yep.
And he was saying, yeah, he said, oh, because he said, I'm going to go home and I have a really big celebratory curry. You know, and it was just like this thing for him. Curry was there, this prize. You know, and it's like, no, you're not ready. Turned around, he came back a week later, and he was absolutely ready at that point.
Fantastic.
Great result.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I had that example with a friend of mine who had set up that I would go and see him, do some work with him, and got to his front door. The appointment was for 11 o'clock, and I went to see him. I got to his door at 1 minute to 11, and he opened the door with a cup of tea and a piece of toast in his hand. I was thinking,
Wasn't me, by the way.
I was thinking, this doesn't look like transformation. This doesn't look like the cutting edge of something's going to really happen and the patterns of his life are going to suddenly disperse into nothing and he's going to walk into a new future. It looked like toast and tea. It looked like a comfortable chat we were going to have. So I said to them, look, you know, it doesn't look like you're ready. I'm going to go away. I'm coming back in 15 minutes. I just want you to be completely ready for this session. And I went around. Some funny things happened just walking around the block. Just some weird things happened, and there was bees everywhere and all sorts of things. Anyway, I went back, who went into his study to work, said a couple of things. He burst out laughing, one of those kind of really unconscious, very deep giggle boxes went off, and he and I just laughed for 20 minutes. And the whole session was just about laughing. And of course, I put a few suggestions in there when all this was going on. Because obviously laughter is one of the most deepest expressions of the unconscious mind anyway, isn't it? So put a few suggestions in, and we had a laughter session. So that's what can happen when that cutting edge is there, that cutting edge of transformation. It really is on the edge and the boundaries of their internal existence. You start shaking those boundaries. You're normally going to be crying or laughing, one of those two. But so the point is, qualify your clients. They need to be worthy to work with you because you've got something very special that you can deliver. So make sure they are worthy for you and of you. Then you have one good client, just one good client that you've set everything up perfectly for. They go and tell everybody else. They can't help it. They tell the whole world about what's just happened, and clients start flooding in. You know, in South Africa, I don't ever actually go looking for clients at all. I'm never looking for clients. Did one client in South Africa recently. I think I've had 4 other clients from this one client. You know, one after the other, and then a family member, and then a cousin of the family, and then a friend of the cousin of the family. Like bam, bam, bam. So clients are out there for you. They just want somebody who they know is going to do a really good job. Then they'll part with whatever money. It doesn't matter. The money's so relevant, isn't it? If it's a phobia or a trauma that they're getting over, it doesn't matter about the money. And when they've cleared that out, the laws of attraction are going to come to them anyway. They're going to get an abundance of flow of things coming through in their life that's worth so much more than the £200 you've charged, or the £250 you've charged, or whatever you think is appropriate for you. So that's the setup, as you well know. And then after the session, now it feels really good after the session, and it almost feels like, oh, let's just stop now, and then you go home. So I really have to pull it into myself to get them to focus on stuff afterwards and get them to use their now state, give them some homework. In other words, keep that relationship with their unconscious mind and the result that you've got with them working. So practice their now state. I always teach my clients the now state because it's so powerful and easy to use. Keep practicing it. That keeps them mindful, keeps them in the present tense. Keep focusing on whatever triggers that might be going off in their environment, and be mindful and noticing if a trigger's gone off for wanting to eat something, anything unresourceful that might be happening in their mind, and what's triggering it, and keep focusing on that to allow it to rejoice into what they have achieved. Like for instance with me, when I'd given up smoking, every morning I'd wake up and go, hooray, I'm a non-smoker, which is anchoring it in, hooray. Oh, and there's a trigger that just went off where it used to tell me, that's when it used to tell me that I was going to have a cigarette. It used to. So train them in that kind of conditioning for themselves. Train them to be an ex-smoker or somebody who used to eat that kind of food, so they can actually then manage their mind with all that, or whatever the trigger might be in their life. Those kinds of things. Let me just see if I anything else. Oh yes, and particularly important would be to manage the environment that they're in. Hey. So if somebody has had a habit of some sort or other, whatever it is, drinking, eating, smoking, and they're going to go back into that environment again where everybody's smoking, drinking, whatever, how do you manage that? How do you manage what's the reality there? When people offer you this and go on, have another drink, go on, I know you're driving, but you know, just one more for the road. Just one more. Or extra bit of cake, or go and have some fries with that and chips and whatever. Be all right. Those sort of things. So there'll be triggers inside the environments, physical triggers. So how do you manage that environment? Or if it's just something simple like they have like a very negative family, for instance, and you've done some fantastic work on their life and where they're going in life. And if there were goldfish swimming in a dirty bowl, you've cleaned out that bowl. There's an aerator now in the fish tank, and all the little stones of beautiful colours, and they've got shells that they can swim under and stuff in this wonderful new environment, and then they're going to go back to another dirty goldfish bowl. How do you manage that? How do you manage if there's negativity in the family and they're going back saying, "Hey, you feel really good"? You go, "Oh, well, that won't last." Yeah, I've heard that before. I'll give you 2 weeks and then you'll be back to the way we are. That kind of thing. And even on a subtle level, you know, you've got partners, you've got husband and wife, and you've worked with the wife or the husband, and now they've changed something and they're going back into the environment where they're used to being talked to in a particular way, even if it's subtle. Manage that environment. Think about it and think, what are you going back into? Because they may have to train their environment, retrain their environment now. You know, mothers and fathers, they're so used to be, you're the little girl or your little boy, and they're so used to talking to you in that way. Hey, Catherine. So, you know, you're going to be that expressive self there, and they can think, well, who's this? You're not talking like my boy or my girl. I'm used to being this habitual way with you. I mean, you know, yeah. It's that kind of thing. So thinking about that, thinking about their environment, thinking about their future, and then getting them to manage that. How will you manage that? Well, good. Any questions around that? Because I say that's what makes your work really fly and keep flying out there, and people talking about you. And if they're continually thinking about what's good about what happened, they're continually thinking about that, then when they're talking, they're going to be talking about that as well. Guess what? That anchors it in for them. It spreads it around to other people. You get more clients. They get more of the juice of what happened, because they keep remembering the results that happened in that room with you.
Can I just share what I did?
Yeah.
I always sat homework. I always sat homework. Always. And if I've got to the end, like near the end of the session, and I haven't already told them what the homework is, they're like, what's my homework? Because they know it's coming. And,
sure.
I tell people that when I first speak to them, you know, about you've got to be prepared to put the work in. It's not just coming to the sessions, you know, it's actually what you're going to do in between sessions, because that's sometimes where the biggest learnings and the biggest change happens.
Yeah.
But one thing I find that really, really important, because you're doing really positive work with them, and they're changing their mindset and all the rest of it. And I give them, not necessarily, because most of my clients, I might see them perhaps like 6 to 8 sessions, because it's slightly longer work that I do. And within the first couple of sessions, I'll give them this little book called A Smile Diary. And they have to record, they're invited to record in it as many successes or what they can give thanks for that day. I've changed that depending on who the person is.
Nice.
But it really keeps them honed in
Yeah.
on the positive and the change, and it carries them through and way beyond when they're seeing me.
Fantastic. Love it.
Could I just
Yes,
share
please.
a bit of a mistake that I think I've been making from the different
No.
the way I feel when I'm here and I'm practicing with like-minded people,
Yeah.
and then when I go back to my business and I try and implement that with a customer, it's the environment that I'm in. I'm office-based, and I tried to make an office more relaxing by getting little low chairs, little tub chairs and a little coffee table and things, but there was still a desk over there with a laptop on and paperwork. And I don't know how that affected the customer, but it affected my abilities as a practitioner. So the environment when you're actually doing it needs to suit you, so it to them.
Yeah, no, totally.
How great that you're already learning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Already.
Instantaneous results in this room for sure. Yeah, that's so important. Now, in my flat where I work from normally, I set the room up. I spend probably half an hour, 45 minutes setting the room up before a client comes. I just want to make that room completely conscious to what we're doing in that room. So if there's a newspaper lying around, out it goes. A couple of pens, unconscious pens, out they go. Everything in that room is towards them getting the result. Same with the training room here. We set this training up so when you walk in, there's nothing extraneous at all. You know, you see there's no pictures on the walls. If there's pictures on the walls, we take them off. There isn't any. Liar, liar. Yeah, so all that kind of peripheral, you get rid of it. And so they're just left with a clean space.
Yeah, we actually converted the garage of our house into a specific treatment room.
Yeah.
And that's what it's called. It's in there, and people come in, and it's like, this is where the change is going to happen.
Yeah.
So you're already embedding it in people.
Yeah.
And it's specifically that room that's shut off from
Perfect.
everything else. So.
Perfect.
Embed it in you as well,
Yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah.
Could you
Yeah.
do the same work in another room of your house than you
Yes.
did in that room?
Yeah.
The same level of work?
Yeah.
Could you?
Yeah.
Mine's my
So
chair.
I think we tend to open our house very much for that because my wife does her therapies as well.
Right.
So she's using that room. I'm quite happily working
Right,
around,
okay,
but
fair
it's cleared, and I have a set way of working with it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so it's about the mindfulness of it.
Mm.
Yeah, I could have a couple of pens in my room, but if they don't look right, they don't feel right. When I walk in that room, I scan the whole room. If something doesn't look right, there could be 2 pens there, but they look right. So they stay there. I'm not OCD about that. Yeah, exactly. And that reminded me as well, Duncan, about the presupposition. So part of the setup would be, what do you presuppose for the client before they come? We mentioned that on day 1, I think, about language and how to use language, but it's just, the metaphor that comes to mind is as a practitioner, the Japanese client that I had, and she was working on psychic attack and hay fever, those 2 things. So I didn't know what psychic attack was. Like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, wow. Yeah. Context trigger. So she came to my front door and opened the front door. I said, look, welcome. Don't come in through that door unless you're willing to let go of these particular ailments. Don't walk through this door unless you're prepared for the success. So she walked through the door. Ta-da! We've made a contract, you see? That's a contract. As long as there's rapport, the person cannot lie, and they could not walk through the door if they weren't going to do it, as long as there's rapport. Out of rapport, they could. When you're not noticing each other, and you kind of bump past each other, you stand at that door in rapport and you say, don't come through here unless they can't come in. Their body would stay out there. So she came in, and I know some of you know this story, but those of you who don't, I worked with the psychic attack. We had a 2-hour session. I did all the protection. I cleared out all of the belief systems you may have had about that, gave a good protection, the now state, a meditation to do all sorts of things like that. And then coming up to the 2-hour mark, I realised I hadn't done anything for a hay fever. I'd completely so engrossed into doing this other work, and we're out of time. It's like, oh wow. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to apologise for my mistake that I made. And then as I was about to speak, she opened her eyes. She said, oh, you have lilies at the back of your house over here. She says, this family of flower, the lily family of flower, always gave me hay fever. My hay fever is gone. Thank you so much. Like that. And I checked in with her a couple of weeks later, and it had gone. So what had happened? She did it. She completely, whatever I said, the presuppositions that she made when she walked through that door, she'd gone ahead, her unconscious mind had used whatever words I used in the session to go and clear that hay fever out. So there's how powerful your setup is, and your presuppositions that you give to your clients. All good. All right. Okay. So pretty much done. Anybody got any questions about the whole of where we've been on the journey, working with clients?
2 questions.
Yes.
One is just in a minute to explain Master Prac.
Yeah.
But I'd like to understand how to use this.
All right.
It's
So
in
that's.
there, 2 pages of it. I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, so it's multi-embedded metaphors. So this is for if you're going to use metaphors with your clients and you want them to be open-ended, and you might not remember every single one that you've said to them, and you want to close them at the end, there's a couple of pages there for you, so you can write down the metaphors that you've used with your client in the order that you've used them. Then when you come to bring your client out, this is kind of technically how it goes. I don't actually do it this technically. If you're doing it technically, what you do is you then close the loops. The last one that you gave them, you close that first up to the first one you gave them, you close that one last, technically. So metaphor 1, metaphor 2, metaphor 3, metaphor 4, metaphor 5 that you've told your clients. Then you close metaphor 5, metaphor 4, metaphor 3, metaphor 2, and then metaphor 1.
What do you mean by closing?
Well, you've told them 90%. So there's 4 things you need to know about being successful. You tell them 3, then at the end, if you feel it's necessary, you give them the completion of that metaphor. Now, what I've noticed is, when I'm giving open loop metaphors to you as a group, sometimes you're actually not too bothered about the end, really. I mean, really? So what I do is, if people really ask me about the ending and they're really curious, then I give them the ending now. That's how I do it now. If they're not that bothered, then I don't give it to them. If they're not really going, come on, I really need that completion. So that's how I do that. But this is technically how you would do it. As a trainer of NLP, that's technically how you would do it. You got the mic there, Joe.
And so the sections in the manual about Elman and is that just for reference?
Yeah, and now we did Elman. We've done the Elman technique where with the fingers. Remember the fingers coming down across your eyes, you close your eyes, you doubly relax. That was the Elman technique, so that's there for your reference. There's also some advanced Elman there as well. Towards the back, you've got a whole other section on Elman, what he did and how he did it. So it's just extra for you if you need it. Yeah? Okay? There's also some quite nice language patterns in there. Now we haven't done them because there's just loads of them, and they could be any kind of language patterns. So I choose to use the conscious use of language, like the mind reads, cause and effects, complex equivalents, all those things, the stuff that you know already, and build on that, rather than giving a whole load of other stuff that you probably won't remember easily. But there are some nice language patterns in there, indirect, conversational, hypnosis language patterns. If you want to go ahead and revise those and put those into your hypnosis if you want to.
On the page contradictions for hypnosis.
Contradictions.
Contradictions.
Yeah.
When not to I just skipped past that word. When not to hypnotise or be careful, and it says members of the opposite sex should have somebody, reliable witness present. Would you ask the customer to bring somebody with them, or would you provide the witness? What's better?
All right, so my truthful thing is I use my intuition. I will work with the opposite sex. I use my intuition to make sure it's going to be all right. On my third eye, just check with them. They know what's going to happen. They're happy, and it's fine. Okay, that's how I work with things. Technically, you know, we're governed by AIP. They've got certain criteria, certain rules, and ANLP, certain criteria, certain rules. Technically, you should have somebody else there with you as a witness.
What do you feel would be better, somebody they choose or somebody you choose?
Can be either.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but as long as it's the same sex as them. So the witness should be the same sex as them.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I just say something about personal safety? Like that?
Get the mic there, Jill.
I was thinking about all of us really actually, and I was doing some peer work with on one of the other therapies that I use, and when sorry, it's
Cut.
But I think when you are in a room with someone, being conscious of actually where you are placed in relation to the door, keeping yourself, so you will know that with information, advice and guidance.
Yeah.
But actually it's something really obvious that not a lot of people have thought about, because you don't know what that person brings to the session, or what might be triggered, and you might just need to just leave them there. Never happened that I've ever had to, but because I've picked very carefully who I work with.
I'll tell you a quick story about that. I've only ever got one of my clients to sign a disclaimer form about responsibility. So in 20 odd years, only once I've ever got a client to sign a disclaimer form. She was the only client that abreacted in a session with me and went all weird and funny, and it was all messy and horrible. So why did I get them to sign? I knew something was going to happen, which is why I wanted to sign the form. So
I tend to, if I'm working with somebody of the opposite sex and they're not comfortable having anybody in the room, or when any time I'm working with children, I always say I'm going to make a recording of it and have a little dictaphone kind of recording. Yeah, because that way there is at least that way there's at least a record of the entire session.
Which is a safeguard for you and them. It's both ways.
Exactly, yeah. And I always say they're more than welcome to have a copy of it. but a copy will stay on
You
my
could
computer.
actually build that in to as part of the service.
Yes.
So then they could have something to reflect on. And
That's
go
quite
back
nice.
over
Absolutely.
as the homework, and then it's having a dual purpose without saying, you know, you might not trust me, I don't trust you. You're not putting that element in there. You're putting it forward as a
Yeah,
different purpose.
I'm actually just playing with a bit of software where
you can take it
you're
home
able
with
to use
you, and
use
yeah.
create your CDs,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
Right.
The sessions.
Got Rosie there at the back if you want to pass that back.
Is there, what's the thing with the opposite sex?
Page 44.
But is that an assumption that everyone's heterosexual?
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that a man is possibly physically stronger than a woman,
Right.
and therefore could overpower regardless of who's customer.
Yeah, I mean, it's more...
It's an assumption, isn't it?
No, it's totally an assumption, yeah. Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's the wider thing of you feeling safe with your client and the client feeling safe with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah, rape's normally that way round, isn't it? It's the other, the man with a woman. It's normally the man doing the raping, normally.
But you know, but then if you're, but you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
I think that's.
But the recording for the customer's purpose would then override all of that, wouldn't it? It
Yeah.
would become a positive.
It's a safety and possibly an enhancement of the session.
Unless they grab the recording and smash it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So big picture is use your third eye, everybody. Work with the right people. If you're not sure, you could just get advice. If you're really not sure, I mean, people do that. People will ring me and say, look, I'm thinking about working with this person, I've got a funny feeling here, or should I do this, what should I do? Just if you're unsure in any way, get in touch with me or somebody else that's in the profession and check it, bounce it off them. You'll be fine. You have wonderful clients, beautiful clients, fantastic clients. And the clients I've had lately have just been absolutely golden, been wonderful. Just reinvigorated my love of working with clients. Because basically what I used to do in the past is price them out of the market. So my price was £300 an hour plus VAT, so 360 quid an hour I'm charging, which basically puts most of my clients outside of that bracket of working with me. I did it on purpose. But lately, the desire to work with clients is phenomenal, because I've just, mostly from the hypnosis actually, because I think I'm doing more hypnosis and less kind of work with the NLP side of it. I was always kind of working very hard with them, and now it's easier and more relaxed. And the relaxing notion with the free presuppositions and language, presupposing the results are going to happen, the setup and the ordeals. It's just a lot of good times with people. Yeah. Okay. Anything else for you?
I thought I saw that you were going to do about a handshake trance and
Oh, you want to see handshake trance induction?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
just that you put it out there.
Sure.
That we were going to.
All right.
Raiders remembered.
Well, who would like the experience then of experiencing a handshake trance? You could call it a 2-second trance if you like. Who'd like that experience?
Don't everyone volunteer.
It wasn't you then.
No, he's just put his hand up.
Don't. Yeah. Okay. Well, you've seen it before. You know how it works, don't you? Okay. So, would you like to come and give an example? So, thanks for coming up. Focus there. That's it. Good. Now, that's right. Deeper inside. That's good. Deeper, deeper down. Deeper down. Very good. Fantastic. Beautifully relaxed. Even deeper. I'll support you all the way. That's right. Deeper, deeper, deeper. Deeply inside. Very relaxed. Totally relaxed. My voice will go with you. My voice will go with you. Now you you love playing with these. Duncan's got a fantastic sense of humour. He loves playing. See, the more he loves playing, his voice goes with him and decides inside that his name starts to disappear. And it's so much fun that his name starts to disappear letter by letter. And as he strives to speak his name, it just disappears into nothing. And his name just completely goes. And every time he doesn't say his name properly, it gets funnier and funnier. And the letters just jumble up inside his mind. Your mind is being confused with the letters, just get jumbled up inside. And the funnier it gets, the more laughter you have, the more joy you have of being a fantastic hypnotherapist. You remember these suggestions. Maybe just forget we had the conversation. Okay, we made all of those arrangements, just come back to now. Good, fantastic. No, nice, beautiful, nice trance state. I mean, and you love the trance states, don't you? All right, so let's have a seat. It's been fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. What was your name again? So what was your name, just so we can put it up on for the film? Just so we can have it for the film, so people know who you were. What was it?
You said you were bad at names earlier. Yes, we were having a conversation about that.
What was it? So the names, your name, so we can just have it onto the film. How did it go? What did it start with? Do you remember? Surely you can remember. I mean, what did it start? Did it sound? What did it sound like? Kind of a certain sound to it? Anything? Any kind of little ring to it that it had? It had a theme, did it have a tempo, or what was it like? What's that? Hun. Hun. Okay. Was there something else? Hun. So it was, the tempo was Okay, 2 syllables. All right, no, I think you're getting there now. Okay, so your memory remains completely, comes back completely. Absolutely comes back completely. Okay, you're back. Isn't that fun?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I know how this works. I know how this works because in the back of his mind would have been the memory of his name. But what happens is it gets just so small and so inconsequential in relation to the trance. The trance is actually really nice, and the not remembering is really funny as well. And that becomes more of a value than the little thing in the back of your mind that you remember what your name is. So this is how it works. He didn't really completely. You knew what it was in the back of your mind, didn't you? Somewhere.
I could see it, and then
right.
I went to kind of, almost felt like I went to grab it, and it.
What is it?
But yeah, I just couldn't grab hold of it. Yeah. It was just like,
It seems to me from what I can see in other people that have been on courses, especially my own experience, that the more you go into trance, the deeper you can go and the more effective it is.
That's right.
Would you then say to a customer...
It's good hypnotic techniques, Amanda. The whole room's just gone, by the way, just now.
Would you then say to a customer that you're maybe struggling with, or you don't feel like they're open enough to the idea, to practice just going into trance before the appointment, so that then you have more of an effect when you put the suggestions in there? Is that advisable?
Anything that intimates more success when they come is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Yeah.
That was so quick. Don't you just show us what you're doing a little bit?
Yes. I'll do it slow motion with you, Duncan. We're not going to do the complete trance thing. I know you want to. We just stand side onto them. So obviously it's the element of surprise. It's surprise. So you go to shake hands like you normally would, but instead of clasping the hand, I grab the hand here, turn it around and say focus there, push his hand in there and pull his head down there, and then relax everything deeply inside. Relax. He's going again. Come back. Yeah, and then you have to be ready to support them as well, because he kind of went like that. Yeah. He trusted me completely.
when you were saying that about when you were saying about resistant clients, I had a young lad who I know very well, knows parents very well. He came to see me. He's a trainee doctor. He said, "I don't believe in any of this stuff. Don't believe in any of this. I'm having real difficulty with my exams. You know, getting so stressed with it all, etc. So I just started, I knew that he was coming around, I knew that he was of that ilk. So I actually built up a whole load of metaphors and totally used confusion.
Right.
Yeah. And he went away and he absolutely loved it with his exams. Yeah, and he knew it all. He was really, really clever, really, really great student, etc. With his pros and exams. And he went and he said, "Yeah, well, it's good."
Give it the credit.
Yeah, yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because
However,
he got his results. Yeah, exactly.
Get credit.
Fantastic. And we had a bit of fun there, and it was good. You can use that to your client's advantage. So you can still use a handshake trance, which is more of a stage hypnosis kind of technique, but use it to your advantage. I mean, there was a client that I had, a delegate, many years ago. He's Korean. One of his things was he didn't think he was very eloquent at English. In fact, his English wasn't very good, and he wanted to improve it. And he was really scared of speaking in public. So I did the handshake trance, and I said, give me direct instruction. You are now fluent in English, and you feel very comfortable speaking in public. Just those suggestions, just pure suggestions like that. Then you will remember these suggestions, maybe forget the conversation. He sat there. So immediately he rushed to the front of the room, sat in my trainer's chair, and started speaking to everybody in fluent English about how he loves speaking in public. So it doesn't have to be just tricks and making people think this is this or an orange is an apple and all those kind of things. You can use that kind of phenomena to the absolute contribution to the. Oh God, more words are gone now. You can use it for good things. In other words, so you could have. I mean, the future of stage hypnosis is you could do fantastic therapy with it, couldn't you? Get people to have abundance in their life and relationships coming better and connections are getting better with everybody. A new phenomena of stage hypnosis. How about that for an article?
How did you bring him back out then?
Just his pure memory comes back to absolute normal. All suggestions have all suggestions he doesn't want can now be removed. All suggestions you do not want are now removed. Yeah.
One of the guys I was doing my master prac with, I think it was the first section of the master prac that I did. So did it quite a distance apart, or quite a time apart. When we did a session like that, he gave me a mental picture in my wallet of me of a very, very, very happy memory. And he said, every time you open your wallet, you get that. So a beautiful post-hypnotic gift, which is lovely, and that's always stuck with me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So your wallet's a nice place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Good. All right, anything else? One of my invitations is, we'll finish quite soon actually, if you wanted to come downstairs for a drink or a coffee or a water or a wine or something like that afterwards, I'd love you to do that, share a drink with you, be on me. That'd be really nice if you want to. There. But for now I think it's certification time.
Could you just explain about the master practitioner? Because I haven't
Yeah.
done it and I'd like to understand what you cover and what the process is.
All right, so it would be in modules. This will be one of the modules that counts towards it, and there's going to be 2 other modules for you, which would include quantum linguistics and values, and then just advanced submodalities, meta-programs, meta-medicine, and anything else that we can think of. And that's also on the website as well. If you go on the website, it's got the whole curriculum there of what you get on the Master Prac. So modules we haven't right now. I'm thinking about when the next one would be, but I need a certain amount of people as well. So there's that criteria. I need this amount of people is good. Between 8 and 10 people is good for a Master Practitioner course. So we're thinking September, won't we? Great. That's a start. That's a start. Fantastic. I'm happy with that. Okay, so we'll do certification. How would you like that? Would you like a bit of music? Do photographs, that kind of thing? How do you want it? Or we do it introverted version? I'm glad you hang on so far. Alright, so what we got here, what I've given people is I've given people the people that get their clinical hypnotherapy, I've given them the clinical hypnotherapy certification. Oh, Duncan, you know you've got yours now. And also hypnotherapy certification in case you need the 2 certificates. I don't know whether you will. When I'm informed them what you're getting, they might just say, well, it's fine that he's told me that I've told them that you are what you are. Okay? Right, well, it's the first person. Duncan, give me a round of applause, everybody. Right, now if you turn towards the camera there. You need a flash on that? Was it good?
Perfect.
Perfect. Thank you.
The flash.
Did you want
I'm not doing
to
that.
say anything to the room, to the people?
No, thank you everybody for being such a great group to work with. Lovely.
I'll have to take you all home with me. Well done, Duncan. Okay. And guess what? It's you now. Amanda Moss. Give her a hand. Well done.
Alright. Don't like photos.
Come on, take a photo of her anyway. Go on, take one anyway.
Awesome.
Good?
No, there's no smut, you're lying. Thank you very much.
Okay, welcome. Good. There we go. You can get one of those as well. Kelly Holder. Woohoo! Thank you, Kelly. Have your picture taken?
Awesome.
Good?
Yeah.
Fantastic. There you are. There's your one.
Thank you.
An envelope 2.
Lovely. Thank you.
Jill Pennington. There you go.
Up here.
Oh.
Perfect.
Okay, lovely. Anything you want to say to
No.
guys? All good?
Yeah, all good. Thank you to everybody, including yourself
Welcome.
and our camera guys.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, our techies.
Cartiga. I won't squeeze you too hard.
Don't.
I'm good. Anything you want to say to anybody?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the master crack.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Catherine Lee. Well done. Anything you want to say to anybody? No? Okay. Thanks, Catherine. Jean Pebbles Goodrich. What's that?
A success, that is.
Yeah. Do you want to say to people?
Thank you. You've been a brilliant bunch. I've loved it. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Pebbles. Peter Trenholm.
Thank you.
Welcome. Oh. Lovely. Anything you want to say to people?
Just want to say thank you, folks, for a safe learning and nice learning family.
Yeah. Sandra Loxley. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
All good?
Yeah.
Lovely. Well done, Sandra. Oh, didn't give an envelope to Pebbles. Or thank you, Sandra. Well done. Envelopes for you guys. And what's this? Last but not least, it's Rosie Hall. Okay.
Thank you.
One more, sorry.
Anything you want to say to anyone?
I'll see you there.
Oh no, cuddle, more cuddles.
Don't be bashful.
All good?
I hate
Anything you
when
want to say?
my phone- Thank you everyone, you're lovely.
Yeah.